I'm going to just guess that the majority of TikTok users have no idea that this is even in TikTok's policy. Have you ever seen this before? Check this out. There's actually even this chart here showing that all of a sudden the increase of requests from the government to actually take people's content down. And so just check out the increase. So here we begin here in July through December of 2023, 6,768. We then move on to January to June 2024, 8,516. July to December of 2024, 12,153. January through June 2025, 19,000. The wilder thing is that it claims that this is, it's only published here, but yet you clearly see that there's additional data. Here's a real key component here, though, that TikTok can actually reject it. Request that conflict with international human rights standards. It's right here in black and white. I bet the majority of TikTok users had no idea this is even a thing. You ever seen it? Because apparently, still it says that they're supposed to be advancing inclusion. Okay? Especially here, right here. Include our work to support indigenous creators and global pride campaigns. Now, I've personally had I'm close to 300 definitely not inclusive generic community guidelines. There's not even really an explanation. Just recently I had, the day of the takeover, the 23rd of January, I literally was just showing the massive amounts of snow piles that were in this parking lot and just showing, because we were having a winter storm warning here in Indiana. It was deemed an emergency. Even the president stated that it was an emergency. But yet they took, and my post still sits at 0 views. And they also closed my ticket when I asked about it. There was no understanding that was even clear as to why they took it down. Now, I've brought this up several times. I have posted about this several times about TikTok's policy about upholding human rights. And that's where you can actually find this when you search for, just search TikTok's upholding human rights. And you'll get to this and you can actually see all the details yourself. It says right here, their responsibility, their philosophy, definitely the International Bill of Human Rights, which is just a declaration, but here's where you get into the law, right? And then it talks about, later on when it was talking about, having government removals, that they won't do that if it conflicts with, local laws. If you're in America, for instance, because I can't speak to all countries, but Article 6, Section 2 of the United States Constitutional Convention. A convention is a treaty. But this is why I continuously keep highlighting and showing everybody, like, this ICCPR treaty is right here. Your economic and social cultural rights. It's all right here. So I want to know how many of you actually even knew this was on TikTok. Let me know in the comments. And let me know if you think that it's actually working correctly, because I feel very deceived. I feel like the FTC needs to address some issues that, when you read the policies of TikTok and the usage policies and the community guidelines and you're doing nothing wrong, why is it that there's so many of us that are actually having to sit through these ridiculous requests to review our posts, to make a better decision, to kind of push back? I'm starting to wonder, where are these things coming from? We do have a lot of cyber bullies on this app, it does seem, and many others too. It seems as though if it's not an actual government request, it seems like there are a lot of fake accounts. A ton of fake accounts pretending to be big name, like well, I'm not going to get into the names, but repetitively, you'll get these same fake accounts. But are they fake? Or are we really being harassed and harmed and targeted by people who, well, it's just, I just want to know what your thoughts are. Did you know that this existed? Do you think that TikTok's doing a good job? Or, does maybe the FTC need to get involved with Section 5 about unfair business practices? Because that does include their algorithm. Just let me know what you think in the comments. There's places where you can actually report these companies. There's a lot of shadow banning going on, whether it's by a government entity that's requesting to take your stuff down. I think it would probably be faster if people just created a bunch of fake accounts and then just systematically attacked people. I mean, I must have about 100 fraudulent accounts that come on and are obviously, they're standing on your voice. And I know that I'm not the only one. I'm hearing this even more frequently since the change on January 23rd. People are just afraid to exercise their human rights. And if what these policies in TikTok say, or that TikTok is to uphold these human rights and these human rights treaties, that they are upholding our users' rights to freedom of expression and to privacy, well, I don't know. I'm not really seeing that right now. And I haven't been seeing that for some time, especially when America got a new leadership and the pressure. So I don't know. TikTok is really different, but their policy is in black and white. So, I mean, how much is enough? We need regulatory systems to check these bias algorithms, if it is algorithms. And if it's not, then, the IC3, FBI, cyberbullying. There's plenty of places that we need to start putting the pressure and holding companies accountable, for silencing voices. Because many of us are trying to make a living and on our businesses, the fair business practices. I see people that are just, they don't even know what to say on TikTok anymore. And it's not just TikTok. To be inclusive, it's all the other apps as well, in some way, shape, or form. But I think that the people, us, the users, and small businesses and creators, artists alike, we need to start holding these places accountable. And they can't just play ignorant to say, oh, it's our AI, because these regulatory systems also regulate discrimination and the unfair business practices. That includes their AI algorithms. So, anyways, let me know what you think in the comments.